So, welcome to today's episode of Conversations That Connect with Suki and Tayla from Montague Group. So, today, guys, you wanted to discuss the ins and outs of making a successful career transition.
So, navigating a career transition, and it might be a transition into a whole new position or a new industry, or just that next step in your career, stepping into a higher level position, or literally just transitioning to a new role. And Taylor, you're in the transition stage now where you're just building a new network in a new area.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to add on there uni students as well, coming out of uni, wanting to get into the industry. Yeah. This one can definitely speak to them. Yes. I've noticed the one thing that I would say that has stood out over the last 4 months, networking. Like, get out there, get your name out there, connect with people, because people know people who can recommend you to people. It's all about getting that face time with someone, being like, hey, I'm Taylor, this is what I do. They're like, so nice to meet you. If nothing happens, that's a contact that you can then add on LinkedIn, say, hey, thanks so much for the chat the other day, loved it. And then they might see something that you post, and then they might be like, oh, actually my friend is a hiring manager and I think you'd be really well suited. So that, I mean, getting out there to networking events, it is daunting. I am not going to lie, but it does get easier making small talk with people. Coming from an introvert, networking, using your LinkedIn platform as well. That's huge. LinkedIn and social media, I think, is the way that it's going to go. I get people who, an example from the other day, I had somebody apply for a job. He actually called me and then connected with me on LinkedIn. I would have never, ever thought him for the role. Number one, because his CV was absolutely terrible. It was not even suited for the job. But after having a conversation with him, he actually could have done that job, and he was definitely in high consideration for that role. But if he didn't reach out to me and add me on LinkedIn to his network and leave me a voicemail, I would have just null and voided his resume straight away, because number one, the titles weren't even the same as what the job was. It was a completely different role that he did. I didn't know what projects he did because they weren't in there. And I didn't know that he actually worked on a very similar project to what we were hiring for in the same role. So,
So it's a job to find a job. And it's always been, it's work. It's not going to be, oh, I've got the CV and I've had it for the last 10 years and I just keep adding at the top, and the font is not the same because I used Arial at the beginning of my resume and now it's Calibri, and we get resumes where I can see how the patchwork happened because it just get added on. Oh, I'm finished with this job, I need my next one, I'm just quickly going to put in what I've done, and you don't actually look at the document as a whole, and then it's 10 pages long and you haven't really formatted it. Really important. Make sure, we've spoken about resumes so many times, but that is the document that needs to talk for you when you are not in the room able to talk for yourself. You need to sell yourself. This person that rang Taylor, obviously his document spoke, but it didn't speak the right language because it wasn't suitable for the role. But he did that extra step. He connected, he called, networked, and just now there's a connection. There's we'll remember him for going forward for the next role or whatever. But it's a job to find a job or to step into that next in your career. I say a lot of times I speak to candidates where they go, I want to transition from here to maybe do a side step into this area. How do I do it? A simple thing to do is to find the job that you would like to do on Seek. go do the search. If it's a project manager, if it's a change manager, if it's an agile scrum, whatever it is, go on to Seek, find the job, find 4 or 5 jobs across the country. Like, don't even put a location on it, and go see what it is that they're looking for. What's the common denominator in the roles that you're looking for?
Yeah.
Do you have them? Well, then they should be on your resume and they should be visible. Don't you have them? Okay, well, what courses can you do? What education what study can you go and do to get the qualification? Or if you want to get into government, Prince 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like things like that. There's practical things that you can absolutely do to either tailor your resume to make that step, or to go, okay, well, this is going to take me 6 months, or it's going to take me a year, but I know where I'm going. I know what I'm working towards.
Yeah. As well, there's so many online courses. There's courses on LinkedIn. There's courses through TAFE. There's courses through online.
Udemy. Yep.
So many things that you can do. And most of them aren't that expensive either. I know that there's a lot of, I'm pretty sure Queensland TAFE has now offered like hundreds of new free courses that you can do in all different pathways. So definitely check those out, but also start hanging around those people.
Yes.
Start connecting with them, start hanging around them, start being mentored by them. If you can find a mentor that's in that space, somebody that you look up to, that's so good, because they'll be able to help you get to that point, and all their connections that they've met along the way, you will now be connected to.
Correct.
So find a mentor, step into that space, start going to those networking events, start joining those LinkedIn pages, start joining those Facebook, Instagram pages, do the certifications, clean up your resume, step into being that person that you want to be.
Yes, that's 100%. And how do you find a mentor? You ask.
Yeah.
Go to a networking event, suss it out, see who's somebody that you connect with, and ask, would you mind mentoring me? But be specific about what you're looking for, because it's not the mentor's responsibility to get you to that next step. It's the mentor. If a mentor walks alongside you, they're there to help and to guide, but you need to know where you're going and what it is that you want to do. And the mentor might be a mentor for a period of time for a specific goal. And then there's the next person, but then you've made that ask, would you mind mentoring? Would you mind having a coffee with me? I just need to understand how all of this fits into each other. And if that person says no, well, then they're not the right person in the first place.
And ask them, do you know somebody that might be open to it?
To help. Yeah, correct.
I would say 98% of the time they would be very willing, or if they're not, they'd be like, I don't have capacity, but I'll put you in contact with so-and-so.
That can help you.
If you're ambitious, someone will help you.
Absolutely.
And someone will absolutely nurture you. You just have to go out there and seek it. It's just part of playing the, I won't call it a game, but it's strategic. If you want to achieve things, you've got to plan ahead.
Yep. I said to the girls this morning, I was listening to a podcast, and the lady was asked by the journalist, like, if you have a 12-year, I think you said 12-year, if you have a 12-year-old or a 17-year-old at the moment, and they want to be like millionaire one day, what advice will you give them? And the person said, don't focus on money. Do not focus on money. Focus on skill. Find the thing that you like doing. That's rare. That's maybe not that many people do it. Obviously rare then. And get brilliant at it. Get really, really, really good at it, and the rest will happen. So if you're doing that career transition, the onus is on you to become really, really, really good at that thing that you want to get into, or the next step you want to do. Be that anything you want to do. So become the expert, become the go-to person, or just become really, really good. And like Naomi said, if you're ambitious and you're keen and you've got the right attitude, people will help you.
Yeah,
they will want to help and go, how can I get you to your next level? So
want to be that person where they're thinking about a job that could be available in their team or something like that, you want to be the first person that pops in their head.
Correct.
So it is creating that community on LinkedIn as well, having a LinkedIn presence for professionals.
Important.
You've got to today. If you don't have a LinkedIn, get a LinkedIn and start networking through that.
Yeah.
Because that will constantly remind those people, oh yeah, I remember. I remember every time you put something up that's relevant or that's thought-provoking or something like that.
And for uni students, what you touched on, Tayla, for them, obviously you don't have this massive career or experience that you can go back on. Having a degree does not necessarily mean you're going to get a job. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of it. So the same applies. Go to networking events, get to know the people in the industry. When I started looking at, okay, what am I going to study? I wanted to be an occupational therapist. With all my heart, I thought that's what I wanted to be. I spent 2 days with 2 different occupational therapists and realized not for me at all. Thank you. So do that. Get into the industry. Go find the people. Go network. The same rules apply. The game is the same game you're playing. It's just maybe at a different level, but it's exactly the same things.
Yeah. Google what's out there and look at what these companies are offering and what they're doing. And there's nothing like, go drop in.
Yeah.
Go drop in. Find the person that you need to speak to. Go drop in. Just be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm finishing uni in 2025 or something like that. Like, I would love to get something in like this. Do you offer internships? Do you offer work experience days? Like, I would be happy to come in for a couple of hours. Just put yourself out there, and you'll find the right job. You'll find the right opportunity for you. So you have to be brave. You have to step outside your comfort zone. And there's this quote, and I'll probably butcher it because I always do, but it's something like, the right opportunity is out there, but the right opportunity is out there, but it's in the work that you don't like doing.
Yes.
Or something
in
like
that uncomfortable zone.
The way that he said it was so good. And I was like, you know what, that's right. But I always butcher quotes. So something like that. So step outside of that comfort zone, out of that comfort bubble, and that comfort bubble will get smaller and smaller and smaller the more times you step out of it. So yeah.
So that's it for today's episode of Conversations That Connect with Montague Group. To join past and present conversations, make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify, and let us know what you would like to chat about next.